So to really answer the question, is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera still relevant? Is it still worth getting in 2023? Absolutely yes. What's up, guys? It's your boy Corey Lanier here, and I have with me the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera, and I guess I just want to talk about it because I feel like people aren't talking about this camera anymore. And I just want to know, is this camera really that irrelevant now? Like, are we at a point now to where we just don't talk about the Pocket 4K camera anymore? Let's get into it. All right, guys, I don't know really how windy it is right now, and I've also been kind of experimenting with using my iPhone as a wireless camera, as like a wireless mic until I decide to get a wireless mic, because them things is a little bit expensive, you feel me? And then the wind would kick up as soon as I start talking about how windy it is. So the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera, I brought it with me today to a park that's here in Pearland, Texas, a new park that I just kind of discovered as I was riding, and I decided if I ever made another video I would come to. So anyway, I'm here with the camera, and I decided to get some shots to kind of remind myself of that nostalgia feeling of what it felt like when I first got this camera, to see if shooting with it really makes a difference. Now that I have my Lumix S5, I've been shooting with that camera a lot more because, well, one, it's just easier. It's really good for vlogging. It's really good for like being able to make head talk videos like the one I'm making now, because I can literally see myself on the flipped out screen. The Blackmagic Pocket 4K, as we all know, doesn't have any type of movable screen, and on top of that, during the daytime hours like right now, it's a little hard to see the screen. But even with those downfalls, this camera still gets really, really good quality video. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's like just shooting with this camera is fun. It basically forces you to be a filmmaker when you're shooting with it, because you can't really do a lot of automated processes like what I'm doing right now with my Lumix S5. I pretty much just have it on aperture priority, and I'm shooting on a flat color profile, and I'm just letting the camera do its thing. Because today I didn't want to think about doing this head talk video and how to film it. But when you're being really creative, you really want to be able to have everything in manual, and then that manual option to be easy to handle as you're working with a camera. And that's what the Blackmagic is like the king of. The entire screen, all the buttons and everything on this camera are easy to find. They're right there by your thumb. Even though it has a weird shape and design, it's really easy to hold and carry. It's not like, it doesn't make you feel like, what is this weird thing I'm holding in my hand? It feels like you're holding like a little movie that hasn't been edited yet. It's like, it's a cinema camera. You definitely feel the cinema part and the cinema quality of the camera as you shoot it. I think one of the things that's my favorite quality about this camera is the fact that when you're looking at the screen, you have a really nice and big screen to look at, so you can really see the quality of the video that you're shooting as you shoot. I mean, when you're using this camera to point and shoot other objects and film other things other than yourself, I mean, the level of precision that I guess you could say that you have with a camera like this is just very nice. The Pocket Cinema 4K camera doesn't have autofocus. I know a lot of you guys really rely heavily on autofocus, like the one I'm using with my Lumix S5 right now. But most cameras with autofocus are really meant to be kind of also self-operated and doing a lot of selfie type of things. With the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera and cameras like it, like the Red and the Ari, they don't come with autofocus because they usually come with manual focusing systems that are very easy to control. And it also just adds another level of professionalism that keeps you from having to have hiccups later on, like the camera choosing to focus on something else. Because even though we have all of these algorithms to tell these cameras what to focus on depending on what setting that we put it on, it still doesn't get it right 100% of the time. And with manual focus, you can always get it right 100% of the time. It just takes a little bit more elbow grease. All right, and here's another thing about the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera that I really love. That is the color science. Man, if you watch any videos about the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera, people are going to always mention the color science on this camera, and it is absolutely true. The colors just seem to be, I'm not going to say that they pop harder. It just seems like they have more depth to them. There's like more colors to see. When you're looking at a Blackmagic camera or a cinema camera, your eyes can just tell the difference, that you're seeing a lot more colors. Versus like when you're looking at an iPhone or another digital camera, the raw footage out of this camera almost comes directly already ready to just post directly to a platform the way you recorded it. It's crazy. And then with the Blackmagic being able to shoot raw at 4K, man, I don't know what it is about the way they codec those files and code them, but it is so easy for my computer to read the footage that comes out of the Blackmagic. Very, very seldom, if ever, does my computer ever crash or slow down because of being able to read Blackmagic footage. It's just like cream, it's like butter the entire time. A lot of the times when I'm shooting with my Lumix S5, I just go ahead and record at 1080 because I know that whenever the S5 shoots at 4K 60, it records the files as HVEC files or MP5 files, which is like a new compressed footage format that a lot of cameras are starting to adapt to because it compresses the footage even more so you can record more. But the problem is your computer has to uncompress those files as you're trying to edit, and it slows everything down drastically. No matter what type of machine you have, you definitely feel the effects to the point where you feel like you can't even edit or you don't even want to edit because you keep having to stop or because your computer keeps crashing. With cinema cameras and their raw formats like ProRes and stuff like that, it's just so much smoother because yes, the files are big, but they're big because they're not compressed. So your computer doesn't have to do so much to be able to read them and play them back to you as you're editing the files, which is something that I recently found out that I should have known a long time ago. As far as being able to edit, I just noticed that, man, editing videos from this camera is just so much smoother and better. And then it makes me want to shoot 4K on this camera. With the Lumix S5, most of the time I don't want to shoot 4K unless it's at a frame rate of like 30 FPS or slower. But yeah, man, don't take my word for example. Just look at the footage that I'm shooting on this camera and playing back as I'm talking to you guys on this video. All the footage outside of me standing here talking to you guys, holding the camera, is from the Blackmagic camera. And also the shots of the Blackmagic is me holding the Lumix, recording the Blackmagic. But outside of those shots, everything else that you're seeing in this video is from the Blackmagic camera. And I'm pretty sure I completely enjoyed editing that footage as I put it on this timeline. So to really answer the question, is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera still relevant? Is it still worth getting in 2023? Absolutely yes. If you want to become a filmmaker, a professional filmmaker, and you want to be able to have complete control over a camera and not have to edit for like 4 or 5 days on one project because all the files are too compressed, then you definitely want to get you a camera like this or better. But the Blackmagic Pocket 4K camera is definitely relevant. I do see myself still shooting with it. I have a couple projects already coming up that I'm going to be shooting with this camera instead of my Lumix S5 simply because of the editing and simply because of the color science. If you guys have any questions or if you have any comments, leave them down below. And I'll be making more content on this channel moving forward. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you learned something, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later on the next video. Peace.